So Kiari, I thought I'd make a quick video of how to do this. So all I did before was drop your bog standard advanced subfief, like just at this point here, at this angle here. So you can see that it's just like that. And I'm going to show you how I normally go and build a base. So first of all, you do need some plastone. Let's just drop some shit and grab plastone. So I normally put something around the subfief, you know, just like a little house hut thing. Doesn't have to be fancy, it's not big, it's nothing, whatever. Obviously you can move the subfief, doesn't really matter. The main reason you're doing it is because you want to have somewhere that you can just move the shit from Haga Basin. So this is how I do it when I'm doing it solo normally. So build a little house. You know how many containers you're going to need from how many you used in the the base 1 crap, and you know pretty much everything ish. So this one we're only going to do 2 because it's an example. You only need like 1 shitty generator, it's fine. So I'd normally make just a house, you know, doesn't have to be tall, doesn't have to be big, just something like that, and then I give it some inclines over the top. And then obviously you can extend this as much as you're thinking about doing so for however many boxes you need. So if you need 10 boxes, then, you know, give it room for 10 boxes. Like, it doesn't really matter. So, as you can see, easy, easy, easy. You don't need to finish the rest off. You can, it'll all be sheltered inside anyway. You can put some crappy wall up there, you know, like the Atreides double wall, double roof, door. There you go. Got there in the end. But yeah, water sealed, taking all the stuff in, blah 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 blah. Literally just used for transport. Now, when you make the actual base, the best thing to do is to go to a corner, check that your square is lined up, put it as like far in the corner as you can go. And then, well, you're actually going to build the first pillar, because you only want to do some small pillar things. But then you want to come off the side and make like a frame around the edge of the square, right? So it doesn't need to be ridiculously high. I used 4 verticals, so you've got a little bit of height in it. And then you follow this line the whole way around. So we're about to hit one of the middle points, so I'd make that pillar there. And then obviously just try and level it up to the other ones up there. So, because these holograms just mean that everything you do is just going to be square. That didn't link up. So that's the edge. This one's obviously going to need a touch more because it's further down the slope. I just picked somewhere that's normally free, pretty easy to build on. Right? It's not going too crazy. You should be able to solidar replicate this as well. That's why I'm doing it. I wanted to do it when you were here, but I know you're a busy man and sometimes our times don't line up. So I thought the best thing I could do is give you a video. Just not the video you want. I'll do the wanking one later. With Lua's permission. obviously. So, nearly done. Oh man. You'll see it nice and neatly lines up, which is exactly what we wanted. Sometimes it's good to do some other supports, sometimes this is enough. We'll see how this goes with just this way to start with. But this is meant to be a easy to make DD base that you can do anytime, whatever. I do normally do more stability, but we'll see if this works. Oh, I should be fine. Then I use the special floor, because it's 2 instead of 1, right? And then I work out how many is between these two. If I lined these two up correctly. Looks like I did. Because I just tried to use the, you know, the middle marker on the map as like a point of reference. So instead of doing a million of these stupid squares, you just have to do a few. Okay, so this is just meant to be a functional one, not a fancy one. Because fancy, although it looks nice, I feel really guilty knowing that you've put so much effort in over the last few weeks. And I wanted to make sure that didn't happen again. Well, putting the effort in, good, but not so it, you know, when there's an easier way of doing something. That way, good. Okay, nice. So that one lines up, which means we just need to do one across here. Okay, so this should be the baseline of the whole floor now. We'll just slot these fucking things in. Doesn't take too long because these are slightly bigger than normal floor pieces as well. So they're better for stability, they're better for everything. The only thing they're not better for is the wind traps. If you use these for wind traps protection, you know, like putting them over the top of wind traps, it actually doesn't protect them as well as it should. So don't use these for the wind trap protection. It's fucking stupid, but because they count as like half a square or something, like the physics on it don't work properly, and they still get hit by the storm, which honestly doesn't make sense. No, I'm not going to edit this and make it go quickly, because I'm just going to upload the whole fucking thing. So I'm sorry. You probably want to skip at this point. It might just be me rambling to myself while I'm putting in fucking triangles on the ground. At least until I've done the floor. Although I'm not quite sure what to ramble to myself about. I'm wondering, if you watch this, will you laugh at me while I talk to myself? Although the real question is, if I make a video, even if I'm talking to you in the video, I'm still actually talking to myself because you're not here. So would that actually be me talking to myself? Or would that be me talking to you? Because if so, I'm not crazy. I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to you. Alright, there we go. That's fucking done. One other thing you can do to save on space for the next part is, back to specials, the Atreides door. It's high. so you don't have to worry too much about it. It just, as you can see, it can be a little bit of a bitch to try and place. It doesn't always fit, like, you see, look there, we've got one extra space. Is what it is. But they're relatively cheap. They're relatively high. It's not high enough for a spice jenny though. Not spice jenny, spice refinery. And this base floor is going to be like your processing, your storage, that kind of shit. It's not going to fit there either. Ooh. Oh, it doesn't matter. It needs to be one off anyway. So there's that. Like, you can do this in a way that makes it look nicer, but again, there's not that much point. Like, I'm not trying to make this look nice, I'm trying to make this functional and fast. So, right, now we need walls. I will use the Atreides one because we're already there. Oh, it is 5 walls. Yeah, so you need 5 walls to fit a spice generator inside. Just for some reason, I thought it was only 4. So this first floor is going to be processing and nothing else really. So we don't need to worry about anything else. I mean, we can use this for the vault for the splits and the split room as well. But let's do. Okay. Because you know how we had that mess of Ornies, right? It doesn't really matter about how many Ornies if we have a mess, right? Because we're only going to use it for that mess for like half a day. So it's not an issue. Okay, nearly done. More rambling to myself. I just hope this helps, because you do try a lot, and I like it. I just wanted to go through this earlier with you today, and just do this on voice with you and you here. With the whole share screening, and you there, and blah 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 blah. Okay. So now that that's done, we're going to need to do another wall on top. And if I remember correctly, we can just do triangles the whole way over, because there was 3... Oh no, there's 4. We're going to need 1 wall of non-triangles. So... Oh, I was wrong. We need 2 walls of non-triangles. That's okay. It's okay to be wrong. But, because I don't like things to be not fully symmetric, and this is using the minimum amount of staking units that you can use in order to do this. So, because I used... Oh my god. Because I used 1 horizontal and 4 vertical, it allows that. It's been a while since I made an A-row one, because the reason the fucking E-row takes so long to make is because it wasn't just functional for me, it was functional with the large number of hangar bays and shit like that. So, yeah. So this current floor is going to be the carrier storage, right? So this can go. The easiest way is to just use letterboxes. You can do the door thing again, and just have the doors at the front and the back, or doors in the side, or whatever. Because you don't need that much space for a door. The problem is it's like the crawlers as well. So what I'm thinking is we do like half of this as crawler and half of it as open. So you still land in from the top. And then we do the wind traps coming off it. I hope this fucking works properly. Okay, right. We'll put the stairs in after. There's not much need for stairs. Not right now, anyway. It shouldn't alter any stability or anything like that. Okay. So now we have this flat surface. I'd suggest doing a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're going to want this much space here for wind traps. So above here is going to be wind traps. So we can do like this. I mean, we don't actually need to do 4. You can do 3 for wind traps. 3 is fine. Ray's done it with 2, but I don't like that. So do a nice big space for this. I'm going to move at the next junction. So the only problem with these triangle ones is you want to use the right angle here for when you're building on the side. Otherwise you lose a fuck ton of stability. So we're going to have this as our carrier and cargo bay. I'm not going to bring the actual stuff over and put it inside it because there is no point in doing that. I haven't, as of right now, finished off the DD base, but after I've done this, I'm going to go and finish it off. This should be 3 walls high, by the way. Just to fit the carrier in properly. I think you can probably squeeze. You can fit it in 2.5, but there's no point doing a fucking half wall. They literally cost the same, like 6 and 6. So, yeah. Okay. Like I said, you should be able to solidar this. I don't know if you can, but you should be able to. Sometimes it doesn't work. I had problems with solidar. The bigger they are, the harder it is to actually get the solidar to work. But this should work, and especially if you build it in the same spot. That's why at the start I didn't move the subfief, because I wanted you to know exactly where it was I placed it. Normally I just move the subfief and make that little churchy type storagey space somewhere else. But you see, we haven't even used that much plastone. Used like what, like 3,500 so far? It's really not much. Okay, so let's say this is done, and we put a pentashield over the top of it. Great, okay. So now we need to. Where's the normal spires? Need to. Where are you? There they are. Right. So we're doing the wind traps above everything, because you remember how on that last one you did, some of the ones underneath didn't get done. Well, the same can happen here. So the easiest thing to do is to just do it at the highest point. I'm going to. Yeah, I'm just going to use the concrete wall. Why not, eh? And you're not going to get full stability, so do like halfway line again. And like I said, using the triangle ones for this doesn't go the best, because it doesn't always protect them properly, which is really fucking stupid. Because it should do. Let's go here. Yeah, there's still one. I was just checking that it was still on the, the straight line. So that it was on this line here. Otherwise, the stability doesn't hold. So we're nearly done. Once I get to the edge. Okay. We'll do another 3 walls up. Normally they only need to be 2 walls up. For the wind traps to be safe, I mean. But this, obviously, we're doing it to be higher than the other thing. You don't have to do full walls, you can do other things. I just don't particularly care about making it look super pretty and nice. And this is where the last one was. I'll do 3 high just because normality. I'm doing 3 high, not to go 3 high, but because I want to have a little bit of it sticking out afterwards. So when I do the next line, which will be here, so you can see it's really easy for me to do the next row above because there's these pillars already sticking out the top. So pretty much done, just need to do some of the inside stuff. I'll do one more row above this as a like a proof of concept kind of thing. Obviously it's going to need more height to it. You're meant to be able to solidar replicate all the production facilities and stuff as well. So if you can do it with this, that would be great. Like if this does work, like you can solidar this week, use it next week, and then when you use it next week, put all the production stuff in, so that it's literally just click. Although I've had problems solidaring anything slightly large. Right, so that's just your proof of concept, right? So you got your first one there, you got the other one above it. Inside here, you'd have the pentashield above there. This has got room for carriers, crawlers, everything else people bring. I'd just pick a side somewhere near. There's one. There's a square. Right, I just delete them. And go for your inclines. Right, so we should be able to go for, you know, large spice, large spice, large ore, large ore, medium chem, medium chem. And we've still got all of this space inside for literally nothing, really. But what I will normally do is, where is it? Storage. So you're gonna want like, I think I've put down like I think it's like 25, maybe 30 of these. So you can just have like a fucking long row. You don't have to make it look neat, pretty. It just has to be, you know, a load. And you've got plenty of space in here to do with all of that as you want. So let's just pretend that that's enough of those. Obviously we're going to want some spice fuel generators. It's normally 12 or 13 depending on how many pentashields you're using, so we can slap those down here. Like I said, this isn't about looking nice. This is just about functionality. So let's just pretend that that's enough. Okay, so we're going to want a little vault kind of area. So if we go for a walled off area, I try and actually use the pentashields door, because that way you can't just sneak in or something, right? But for this example, it really doesn't matter. Alright, so say this was the vault, right? So yeah. Give it a roof. Give it a random door. Like I said, normally the best one to use would be this one, because it's got the pentashield on it, but in this case it doesn't matter, we'll just use that. Then drop down your storage, like your vault storage. So this is process shit only, right? The best way to set these is on a circuit like 2 coming in, 1 coming out, right? And that way, with all your refineries, you can set it up like, let me just delete that one and put a small ore refinery there for a proof of concept. So, is it still got power yet? Okay, so set it like that. Put your 5 darts on the inside. Alright, so it automatically drops it into the vault. And because it's circuit 1 and 2, right, the second that processes it, it'll put it straight in the vault. And if you do it with your chemical refineries, it will put the stravidium fibers in here, but because it comes out of circuit 1, you can still take it back out. So that's why this works the best. You only need to change the refineries, all the refineries, what you call it, words are hard, the refineries, circuit and block them. Another thing you can do here is, if you, where is it? If you go somewhere like here, you can put in a row like this. I don't know if this will work actually. I haven't tried it with the triangles. Yeah, it does. And you can put in the row of boxes like this, and that's because these can be used for the split, right? So you can have your split boxes in there, second one for above in case we do too many, you know? And yeah, I'm pretty sure that covers the whole actual base. Doing it. Oh no, one more thing. So obviously the next one's pretty easy to do. At the top up here, just lay down a fuckload of boxes around the outside. You know, like, just so that people can drop stuff in them. But yeah, that's the best way to get this started. So a quick TLDR. You fly in with a assault full of plastinium. Plastone, sorry. You have enough plastinium to drop a couple of chests, a generator, and a sub-thief. You do that, build a little shitty thing like this so you can drop everything off. Only needs 1 generator. Alright? Do that while putting 4 horizontal staking units and 4 vertical staking units and 1 horizontal. Do your hologram around the outside so that you've mapped that. And then build it in the layers you see here. But this is a full functioning DD base now, just without anything in it. It's just a shell, right? So you'd obviously need a little bit more time to get that up to the top, because you're going to need it to be like, you know, like up here or whatever. But in essence, you can see that did not take too long. It's pretty easy. Bish bash bosh. Anyway, my dude, hopefully that helps. Thank you again for all the effort you put in. Any questions, please ask, and take it easy.